All right, thanks so much for coming out. Raise your hand if your lips are super chapped by now. Those are all the people who don't live in Arizona, right? So we live in California. You come here and it is too dry. It's too dry. It's crazy. Raise your hand if you're having a good time at Icon. Almost done. Great. All right, look, I've been going back and forth with the Infusionsoft people, and I believe that Icon could be better than it is today if we went back to the way that it used to be. Who used to come to Icon when it was InfusionCon? Raise your hands high if you think that it was better then than it is now. Okay, now let me ask you this for the rest of you. If we made it more of a conference, so I need you to shout really loud if you agree with me. Shout really loud so all the Infusionsoft people in the back know what we're talking about. If you would rather come here and get rid of all the fluff and just have Infusionsoft training and sit down a workshop and you get out your computer and actually do stuff, yeah, scream loud if you agree. All right, so I think we're in agreement then. That sounds good. I love the software. I love getting in there and doing the stuff and making it happen. And when you leave a conference like this, walking away with stuff you actually did and you have campaigns launched, I think that's a great thing. So that's what I'm lobbying for. If you talk to any Infusionsoft people and you agree, let's let them know. That's not why we're here. We're here to learn how you can master Infusionsoft in just 10 minutes a day. So let's get into that. So a little background on me. My name is Tyler Garns. I am the founder and CEO at Box Out Marketing, but in a previous life, I was the director and VP of marketing at Infusionsoft. So I was there for about 5 years. I ran the marketing team there, but probably more importantly, I managed Infusionsoft's own Infusionsoft account for about 4 years. I was the guy, even when I was VP of marketing, I was the guy, pushing all the buttons, pulling the levers, and making things happen. It was baptism by fire. You get in that situation, you're like, we better not screw it up because we're the company that's selling this stuff, right? So, but trust me, we screwed it up occasionally. But during that time, I helped Infusionsoft grow from 4 million to about 30 million in annual sales. And then at that point, it was time for me to move on. I left Infusionsoft. It's funny, I woke up one morning and I looked at my wife and I told her, I said, I think I'm done. She said, you're done with what? I said, I think I'm done at Infusionsoft. And she said, okay. And that was my cue that, okay, it's time, because I've always been entrepreneurial. I always wanted to do my own thing. And she was always like, yeah, maybe we better not do that. We have 3 kids at the time and now 4, and that may not be the smartest idea. And she was right. Looking back, she was right. I really had no idea what I was doing. But after working at Infusionsoft for almost 5 years, I felt like it was time, and she agreed. So I went out and I did private consulting for a little while. And I'll come back to this, but private consulting was a great life. It was amazing. It's way easier than doing what I'm doing now, trying to build a company and have a team and deliver to you guys what we're trying to deliver. But I made the shift away from private consulting because I feel like I owe it to you all to help you master Infusionsoft. That's really what it comes down to. I know we can. I know we can give you the tools and the resources and the structure and the training to help you absolutely crush it. Now, I know that because I've worked hand in hand with a lot of business owners doing private consulting, and in our business now, in the way that we service clients, we teach them this stuff, and after years of struggling with Infusionsoft, they go, I get it now, and I can do this on my own. And so we've distilled all that into some amazing stuff that I'm going to show you today. So anyways, after doing some private consulting, we started up Box Out Marketing. I'm the founder and CEO. We're the leaders in helping people getting results with Infusionsoft. And as you heard not yesterday, on Tuesday, Clay introduced me as the Infusionsoft Ninja, so I figured I'd just throw that up there, the original Infusionsoft Ninja. And I think that just comes back to the fact that I was there in the earlier days, and I was the guy behind the scenes just kind of making all that happen inside the account. Bottom line, though, and what's important for you to understand is that I wasn't always a ninja. There's actually many reasons why I shouldn't be the guy standing on this stage talking to you about Infusionsoft. See, my ninja skills were developed, just like you're going to develop them, and we're going to help you and hold your hand along the way so that you can become ninjas too. But my education's in human biology, okay? Has nothing to do with any of this internet marketing, software stuff. I've never taken any kind of business course or marketing class in school. I've never done any of that, okay? It's all been baptism by fire, just like you guys are in your business trying to figure it out as you go. And as I've done that, we've developed some systems and some structure that I'm going to show you that have just really, really turned things around, because I struggled for a long time, just like you. Here's the bottom line. I was scared to death of Infusionsoft when I first started. I was hired as an internet marketing manager. My job was to get in there and figure out the internet marketing. By the way, I had not done any internet marketing before that. So I did a really good pitch job in the interview process, and luckily that worked out. But I get there, and I'm supposed to be like getting into Infusionsoft, making campaigns happen. What had happened right like the first week that I was at Infusionsoft is someone had sent out an email, and it was supposed to go to a small group of customers about a refund issue. Well, it went to the whole list. And that person took some serious heat. And they had been an employee for a while, and I'm like, ooh, wow, if they can make that kind of mistake, I don't want to do that. I'm brand new. I need to make sure I don't screw it up. I literally didn't log into Infusionsoft for like a month. I was totally scared. I was like, man, I just keep hearing how complicated it is, confusing it is. It's really easy to screw up. I saw this guy screw up, and he took some bad heat. I'm not going to do that. So it took a little while for me to even just log in and start to get comfortable with it. And since then, I've screwed things up plenty of times. You know, I've made the mistakes. I've made all the mistakes you guys have made, that you are making, and more. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm doing it for a long time, and I've seen it all. I've done it all. I've sent the wrong email. I've gotten the replies back saying, you're such an idiot. You're supposed to be the marketing expert, and why would you ever send this email? I've heard it all. So I feel your pain. I know where you're at, and I believe we can help you. So now I'm one of the world's foremost experts on Infusionsoft. And again, that comes from years and years and years of doing it, but the first 8 years or so of that, I was just like you, just struggling through it, making mistakes occasionally, having a really disorganized Infusionsoft account. And we set up some structure while I was working at Infusionsoft, and it was pretty organized, but it was still not quite what it needed to be. And just in the last year and a half, 2 years, we've started to create what we call the way, which is the right way to implement Infusionsoft. I'm going to show you some of that today. So let's just make sure you're in the right room. You're in the right place if you bought into the dream of Infusionsoft, but you haven't quite reached it. Raise your hand if that feels like you. You're like, yeah, I get it. I see other people doing it, but for whatever reason, I just can't quite get there. I can't quite reach it. Or if you've ever referred to Infusionsoft as Confusionsoft, you ever said that word? Yeah, quite a few of you, right? All right. If you're nervous to launch stuff in Infusionsoft because you're not 100% sure that it's going to work the way you expected. So these are some of the feelings that we all have had with Infusionsoft, right? Or you want to grow your business, but doubling your sales sounds like doubling your chaos. Does that sound familiar? Raise your hand if that sounds like you. You're like, yeah, I want to grow, but if I grow what I've got inside of Infusionsoft, I'm going to grow a beast, right? So we don't want to do that. Or you stress out when you think about Infusionsoft. You really want to crush it with Infusionsoft, and you just need some guidance. Raise your hand if that feels like you. You're like, yeah, I do. I see it. I want to crush it. Just need someone to show me the path, show me the way. So this is my daughter, Aaliyah. Okay, she's 3 years old, and she lives life to the fullest. She's full out. So we have 3 boys that are older than her, and then she came along. She has more energy than all of them put together. She's absolutely amazing. But this is pretty much how she is all day long. She's absolutely excited about life. And it's awesome because she's in this rapid growth phase of life, right? She's learning to talk, to do all these things. She's got a little bit of a speech impediment. So her name's Aaliyah. She can't say L's very well. So I ask her all the time. I'm trying to help her learn how to say her L's. I say, Aaliyah, is your name Aaliyah? Because that's how she says it. Is your name Aaliyah or Aaliyah? And then she tries to say it back, Aaliyah. And so I'll say, watch my tongue, because I'm trying to enunciate the L. You know, my tongue is what's doing it. So watch my tongue, say Aaliyah, and then she'll do it. But now she's so excited about learning. She comes up to me all the time, Daddy, look at my tongue. Look at my tongue. And then she'll say something. She does that all the time. But I want to ask you, is this how you feel when you get into Infusionsoft? Is this how you feel about the learning process? Most people are kind of laughing or shaking their head. That's my goal. I want to get you to feel like that about Infusionsoft, that you are fired up, you're loving the learning process, we're giving you the guidance and the hand-holding that you need to get there, and it's fun. It's super, super fun. So here's what we're going to cover. First, I'm going to show you the most powerful method for campaign strategy planning, okay? We can't get into Infusionsoft and build campaigns if we don't know what our strategy is. So that's what we're going to cover first. Then we're going to go over how to easily build simple yet powerful campaigns in Infusionsoft and know exactly how they all work together. I'm going to give you the simplest way to get Infusionsoft super organized and know the key data you need to know. As a business owner, you got to know what's going on in your business. If you don't, you're flying blind. Okay, I think it was Scott was saying, I love the numbers and numbers love me, or something like that, right? That's true, but we need Infusionsoft to tell us the numbers. Who gets frustrated? You're in Infusionsoft, like, I know the data's in there somewhere. I just can't see it, right? It's all there. So I'm going to show you how to get to it. All right, and I'm going to show you how to take what you learned today one step further to master Infusionsoft, your business, and your life. Okay, that's what we're going to get to at the end. All right, so in the limited time that we have today, I'm going to teach you as much as I possibly can. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to hold your questions to the end. I really do want to answer every single one of your questions on a personal one-on-one basis, and I'll do that at the back of the room afterwards. So I'm going to have you keep your hands down, no questions while we go through the content, and then if you have questions, you can meet me at the end of the presentation, okay? Yes, so that was a question. I'll take one, and that was it. You've used up all your questions. You said, can we get the content? I'm happy to give you guys the slides at some point. Just talk to our team, give us your business card or whatever. All right, so instead of looking like Aaliyah, this is how most of us feel, right? You get into Infusionsoft, and you just want to kill the thing, right? Have you ever felt like Infusionsoft is actually a person, and it has real hate for you? I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time, right? We talk to customers, and they're like, I don't know what the deal is, but Infusionsoft hates me. Like, it doesn't hate you. It doesn't have a soul, okay? The problem is actually you, sorry. But that's how we feel sometimes, right? We feel like this thing hates me. Why are all the gremlins inside of my account? Everybody else seems to be doing fine, but every time I do something, it breaks, it goes wrong, whatever, okay? That's how we feel in Infusionsoft sometimes, and it's not right. We need to feel like Aaliyah. We need to feel excited and energized, and you'd go build a whole lot better, more functional, exciting campaigns for your business if you felt really excited to go do it and confident in your ability to do it, right? So problem number one is that strategy is lacking. Okay, I'm going to walk you through a very powerful strategy exercise that I developed while I was working at Infusionsoft. It's interesting now, in the last couple years, I've seen a whole bunch of people starting to use the same strategy in various different forms in other places. It's really kind of caught on, and that gets me excited. So first, as business owners, we dream big, right? We put these lofty goals out there, and it's amazing what happens when we work towards those goals. But the problem that we have as entrepreneurs is when we get down to implementing for those goals, we handcuff ourselves. We put restraints on ourselves. You may not even realize you do it, but we think about, I don't really have the time for that. You might think of, you're probably hearing great ideas here. Well, you discount it automatically. I don't really have the time for that. I don't have the money for that. Yeah, it'd be really nice to send everyone a birthday card automatically. That sounds really cool, but there's a cost associated with that, right? Send them a birthday cake for all I care, but there's a cost associated with that, right? I don't have the staff to pull off that little cool trick. I don't have the resources, my office space, our brand and our reputation won't support that kind of marketing. There's all these restraints that we automatically put on ourselves as soon as you open up Infusionsoft and start to build. So then we build these crappy, stupid little campaigns like, oh, send a couple of emails and wait a few days and send some more, and they just don't work. Who's ever launched a campaign that didn't work? I'll raise 2 hands. I've done a lot of them, right? We've done it, but that all comes down to strategy, and if the strategy isn't right, then we're going to miss. So this exercise is called the power of one. I need you to pull out a pen, a pencil, piece of paper, okay? I'm going to give you some great tips right now. Take advantage of it once you write some stuff down. First thing is, I need you to write down the name of your most profitable customer. If you're not sure who's most profitable, just pick your favorite one. Ideally, your most profitable. The reason we're going to do this is because we're going to think through some stuff considering the idea that your business only has one customer. We're removing all constraints in this process, okay? We're going to remove all the restraints by saying, look, we've only got one customer. The success of your business is dependent solely on this one customer. Okay? If you could make it to wherever you want to go with your business by serving only this one customer, you would do things a little different, right? Sure, I can send them a birthday cake because there's only one, right? Not a big deal. I can call them up. I have the time to call them up because there's only one, okay? So as we go through this exercise, those restraints are going to keep popping in your mind, though. You got to keep pushing them away. You only have one customer. The success of your business is dependent on that customer. So first question, how would you follow up with your one lead? How would you follow up with Bob? Write it down. What would you do? What would you do a little differently? Don't worry about campaigns and structure and goals and sequences, all that kind of stuff. Just what would you do? How would you follow up with this person? I'll be quiet for a minute while you write, but really give it some thought. Would you give them a phone call? Would you send them a letter? Would you show up on their doorstep? Might be a little creepy. Knock on their door. Hey, I noticed you opened my email yesterday. Write down a few ideas. How would you do things differently? I promise you what you're writing down looks a lot different than what your campaigns currently look like, right? Because you have no restraints. All right, next, how would you extend your offer? Again, the ability to give bonuses and really deliver value and things like that might change if you only have one customer. It might look a little different, so go ahead and write that down. What does your offer look like? What does the process of extending the offer and the invitation look like? What does the offer itself look like? Now, right as you're starting to do this, the constraints are creeping in. You're like, oh, I can't do that, right? You got to stop that line of thinking. You can do anything you want right now. And don't worry about how we're going to implement this. Because I promise you, I'm going to show you how you can implement it. A lot of this stuff can be automated more than you think. Okay? And it can be automated in a very personal way. And some things might be out of reach. That's okay. We'll hold those for an idea later that you might implement later. But if you design and craft this amazing experience, then at least you're starting with great strategy. Okay? Next, how would you wow your one customer? What does the fulfillment process look like? Right now, it might be like send an email, hey, thanks so much for buying, here's your access information, whatever it is that you're selling. Is that wowing them? Are they going, holy smokes, this is amazing already, like when they just sign up? Then they become lifelong fans from day one? How do we create that experience? I'll give you a few seconds to write some ideas down. All right, next question. How would you upsell? You've got more to deliver to this one customer. They just bought your first product. There's more. You have lots to offer people, tons of value. What does that process of delivering more value to people look like? I kind of don't like the word upsell. It has a bad connotation. How do you deliver more value? What's the process that you're going to walk them through? What's the experience you're going to create so that they just keep coming back for more and more and more? And they love you for it because you're giving them the value that they want. The reason we're doing this is because if you put garbage into Infusionsoft, you're going to get garbage out of it. Okay? And we don't have time to really dive deep into that exercise, but take that home. That's super simple. You can sit down in a quiet room for a couple hours and really think through that and come up with some amazing stuff. You're dreamers. You're entrepreneurs. You can dream up amazing stuff. Don't let those restraints stop you. Because once you have the plan, once you have the strategy, then you can step back and say, okay, how do we automate this? How do we reduce the costs? How do we deliver the experience and keep it within our means? It is possible, I promise you. We don't want to put garbage in Infusionsoft. If you don't do strategy right, you're putting garbage in Infusionsoft, and then Infusionsoft is useless, okay? All right, let me ask you another question related to strategy and messaging is what we're getting into now. Messaging. Again, if you put the wrong message in your emails or in your communications, it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. Raise your hand if you have interviewed your customers, any of your customers, like really interviewed them to understand them from a marketing perspective in the last month. Okay, a handful of you, great. The rest of you, shame on you. I'll tell you this, I've been doing Infusionsoft for 10 years. I should be able to talk about it like no big deal, right? And talk to so many small business owners and say, look, I've been in this business 30 years. I know how to talk to my customers. I promise you, you don't. Your customers can talk about what you do better than you can. It's because you want to talk about features and functionalities, and they will talk about how it impacts their life. And you have to get those words from them and then flip them around in your marketing. Your messaging has to come from your customers, not from you. Again, I've been doing Infusionsoft for 10 years, and I should be able to talk about it. I've got 28 pages of single-spaced notes from conversations I've recently had with customers as I've prepared the Infusionsoft Success Lab and gotten ready to talk to you guys today. Because I don't know how to talk about what I do. You have to admit that as an entrepreneur. If you can't admit it, then you just give up now, okay? You need help from an outside perspective to help you look at this, all right? So let me give you a few types of questions you should ask when you do these interviews. This is part of our proprietary process that we teach and walk our clients through. I'm going to give you some of those keys right now. So you want to ask them things like, how did you feel when you were searching for a solution to your problem? Now, obviously, you're going to need to rework that for your business, but how did you feel? Now, if you don't have a relationship with that person, they're going to give you answers like, oh, stressed, frustrated, right? That doesn't help, right? Headline with stressed or frustrated sounds like everybody else, okay? So you have to dig deeper. You have to have the relationship first to dig deeper. If you don't have the relationship, ask the questions anyways and see what you get. But you say, well, tell me about that. How is that affecting your personal life? So let's pretend I'm talking to a business owner, and I'm talking to them about Infusionsoft or what we do or whatever, and they say, yeah, I was really stressed. Well, tell me about that. What were you stressed about? Oh man, the sales, they've been tapering off, and I'm really stressed that we're not gonna hit our sales numbers. It's going down, down, down every month. I gotta hit the sales numbers these next few months. I actually need to exceed them because I gotta make up for the last few months. Okay, well, why is that important? It's not about sales, is it? No, not really, but I've got 10 people on my team. They've been with me. They battled it out with me. And I'm at the point where I won't make payroll next week if I don't hit these numbers. I can't let these people go. That must be tough. How do you deal with that when you get home? Oh, geez. I get home, and I just have to hide it. I've lived this too, by the way. I know what it's like. My wife has no idea. And I can't break it to her. I'm thinking maybe we need to move, we need to downsize. The kids are in schools that, I don't want to have to move them. That stuff's real. You have that conversation with a customer, how much differently can you talk to them now? It's not about persuading them. It's not about selling them. It's about pulling them out of that situation, helping them with their life. It's a totally different perspective. You have to understand where they're coming from. You got to ask those types of questions. When you do, I promise you will uncover gold. You will uncover all of the secrets to what you need to put into Infusionsoft. You won't know how yet. I'm going to get there. But you're going to know what to say, okay? So those are a few questions. We can share much more of that with you, but those are the types of things you need to get into with your customers, all right? Again, if you don't, you're putting garbage into your Infusionsoft, you're gonna get garbage out, all right? We don't wanna do that. Now, you may have heard Infusionsoft being referred to as the Ferrari of sales and marketing software. Anyone heard that term? Yes? Quite a few of you, okay? I'll tell you, it is. It absolutely is. I've looked at all the solutions out there. Infusionsoft is the Ferrari. Hands down, it's the best thing out there. There's a problem, though. They didn't tell you. A little secret. They didn't tell you when you bought it. They didn't give you a Ferrari. They gave you a box of Ferrari parts, okay? And the instruction manual, it reads like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Well, you can do it this way or this way or this way or this way, right? You call up support. Support rep says, yeah, do it this way. Call up support again the next day. Just try it next time. Another guy says, oh, yeah, do it this other way. They're both right. Both ways will work. You'll get a third and a fourth and a fifth answer, by the way. They're all right. There are so many different ways to do it. And when you're doing the choose-your-own-adventure assembly model, you end up with a Ferrari that looks like this. It's not quite what you were expecting. So then you're frustrated. You're driving down the street. This thing doesn't go as fast as they said it would go. I'm supposed to double my sales in 90 days? Yeah, right. And it's just not very reliable. Okay? You have a problem with Infusionsoft reliability? It has to do with the assembly process, not the actual parts. Okay? But this is the problem we all have. We've all been through it. And it's because there are no rules in Infusionsoft. It's the beautiful thing and the curse all at the same time. You get in there, and you open it up, and it's this blank screen just staring you in the face. And it says, go, entrepreneur, create. Do amazing stuff. And it's so empowering and so enabling once you know how to do it. But when you're first in there and you're staring at it, you're like, geez, man, I don't even know where to start. Start dragging stuff out there. You're like, okay, well, this looks like it connects to that. Ooh, there's a little green thing there. I can drag it. Ooh, connected, right? And you connect another one, and this little black diamond shows up. What does that do, right? And you're poking around, and you're starting to connect things, and you're like, okay, I kind of get it. This web form kicks off this sequence, and you start connecting other things. And you're like, wow, this is great. Pretty soon you got your whole business built in there, and it looks like this. You're like, it's my masterpiece. It's amazing. And then you put people in it, and stuff might start going wrong, or it might actually kind of work. Kind of like that car, it puts down the road, it kind of gets you there. But you're really afraid of it, right? People might get the wrong tag, and all of a sudden they're in the wrong sequence, and I just hired new staff, and I'm trying to train them on this, and they don't know what the heck's going on in there, and it's just not manageable. You can't live your life like this, right? There's no way. So that's what we do, right? You just get fed up, and you just throw it away. How many of you have just stopped working in Infusionsoft for a period of time, like 2 weeks, a month, 6 months? I talk to people who like, yeah, I've been paying for Infusionsoft for like 2 years. I don't even use it. That's a shame. You've got this Ferrari, and you're not even driving it, okay? We're going to show you how to do that. Instead, we want you feeling like this. Here's Aaliyah again. When you log into Infusionsoft next week, and you have access to our Success Lab, I want you to start logging in and feeling like this. It's ice cream on a summer day, right? It just feels amazing, and you love it. And you love the learning process. So we need structure. That's the first thing we need. We need some campaign structure, or else you start creating all kinds of mess in there. So I'm going to teach you some basic campaign structure that'll start to change the way you think about campaigns. Okay? Have you ever built stuff, and then you've got a web form on your website, and you're like, oh, I need to make a tweak to that web form. I want to add an extra field or change something, add a question, and you get in and you're like, where's that web form? Open up a campaign, not that one. Open up another campaign, not that one, and you just start going crazy because you're like, I don't know where this thing is. Raise your hand if that's ever happened to you, okay? Or an email you want to edit, like, oh, that email's still going out. That was supposed to stop a month ago. And you go in, you try to find it, and you can't find it. Ever happened to you? All of us, right? We've done it, okay? You're ever at home and you can't find your keys? It's the same problem, truthfully. All right, my wife doesn't know I'm going to do this. I'm going to totally embarrass her. Jill, will you come up? Come on up. I don't even know where she is. She's hiding somewhere. She's so nervous when I speak. She's literally like biting her lip. It's bleeding. That's not why I'm going to embarrass her. Here she comes from the very back. So when we first got married, you'll see when she gets up here, she's the most beautiful thing ever. But there's one thing that frustrated the heck out of me when we first got married. You know, we'd travel, we'd go see parents or whatever. You know, you're poor when you first get married, so you drive everywhere, and you're driving middle of the night to get back home for work or whatever, school. We were in school at the time. I was in school. She was supporting me. We get home, middle of the night. You know, it's 2 a.m., and I'm dead. I've been driving, and I just want to go crash. It's like, please let me sleep. And she would say, nope, we got to unpack all the suitcases. We got to put everything away, keep it all organized. And I'm like, I'm going to strangle you right now, right? But I've learned to really appreciate that because there is nothing ever lost in our home. The keys don't get lost. The clothes don't get lost. Everything is super organized all the time. It's amazing. Yes, give her a round of applause. She's the most amazing wife and mother ever. But that same skill, we're going to teach you in Infusionsoft. I'm terrible at home. I get home, she knows it's like, stuff's coming out of my pockets, it's all over the place, I just make a mess, and then she's like, nope, it needs to go back in its place, and she helps me do that, and she's great. And she's awesome, and she's teaching our kids that skill, and our kids are becoming amazing at it. But I'm terrible at home, I'm going to teach you how to do it in Infusionsoft in a powerful way. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to teach you how to unpack your suitcases in Infusionsoft, okay, and get it all organized, and have this thing humming to a point where you're like, yes, this now starts to feel like a Ferrari. I'm going where I need to go. I'm hitting the results that I need to hit. It all feels easy and amazing, okay? This is what we call the way. Like I said, for 8 years or so, I struggled with Infusionsoft just like you, right? Same problems. And then a couple years ago, as we started to build the team, I had some of these ideas and some of these structures already that we were playing with, but I realized in order to train my team and get them to be the experts that I am, to get them to also be ninjas, I need to give them specific rules. Infusionsoft gives us too much leeway. So we started talking about the way. It's the right way. So now the team is trained. Whenever they don't know how to do something in Infusionsoft, they come to me, what does the way say? What does the way say about note templates? What does the way say about web forms? What does the way say about this? Okay? It's the way. It's the right way to implement Infusionsoft, all right? So let's talk about campaign structure. Campaign structure, you can build the tiniest little campaign, one web form, one sequence, right? You're done. Or you can build your entire business on that canvas, all in one place, right? And again, Infusionsoft won't tell you right or wrong. I'm going to tell you there's a right way and a wrong way. Here's the right way. Build your campaigns by stage of the customer lifecycle. Okay, so you've all heard Infusionsoft talk about the perfect customer lifecycle. There are stages: lead capture, indoctrination, nurture and convert, the sales process, okay, upsell, fulfill, and then you've got your referral process. If you build your campaigns by stage, then you always know what's happening in that campaign. You know where they came from and where they're going. So if I know someone's in the upsell campaign, they came from a sales campaign and they're heading to the fulfillment campaign. They're all structured in that order, okay? So you get into Infusionsoft and you start building out campaigns. You should name them like this: stage 1, lead generation. Now, I wouldn't call it lead generation. That's the name of the stage. But you would call it stage 1, free ebook or whatever your lead magnet might be, right? And then stage 2, indoctrination. Stage 3, conversion. That might be a webinar. Maybe you're using a webinar for a conversion process. So stage 3, webinar campaign. Stage 4 is your sales process. Now, for some of you, if you do e-commerce, there's not a whole lot of a campaign there. It's really, that function's happening on the shopping cart or the order form. If you have a sales team or you sell over the phone or in person, you might use a sales pipeline process. So there might be a campaign built to manage that sales pipeline process. Stage 5 is your fulfillment process. Stage 6 is upselling. Stage 7 is referrals. And then we throw one extra in there. Stage 8 is reporting. Who would like some great reports out of Infusionsoft? We'll show you how to do that in our Success Lab. It's amazing how much you can get out of Infusionsoft when you know how to leverage the campaigns and tags. Okay, so that's the structure. You log into your Infusionsoft account, and it looks like this. You may not be able to see that, but they're all labeled super clearly. I could go to any one of my team members and say, hey, I've got a contact in this campaign. What's going on there? And they'd be able to say, oh, okay, I know what happened. They opted into this, and then they flowed through this, and now they're in this campaign, and I know what's going to happen next. Because they're all labeled stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. And you might have multiple stage 3 campaigns, a whole bunch of stage 1 campaigns. That's fine. But you know what they all do, and they all interlock together. They're like building blocks. You just plug them together, and if one's not working, pull it out, plug in a different one. Okay? It works super, super easily. That's the kind of campaign structure that we're going to hold your hand and help you develop and build in your Infusionsoft account. It's really, really easy once you get it down. All right, the next thing that's really important is your tag categories and your tag naming structure. Who has a mess of tags? Admit it, come on, we've all done it. You make a mess of your tags. Again, there's no rules. They just let you go, create whatever you want, and they don't give you any structure. So I'm gonna give you the structure. 6 main tag categories. I'm gonna teach you this right now, and remember the beginning of my talk? It's all about master Infusionsoft in 10 minutes a day. I'm gonna teach you this in less than 10 minutes, and you're gonna have it nailed. Watch this, okay? So trigger tags only achieve goals. You know how you can achieve a goal with a tag? You call them trigger tags, all right? That's it. That's the only function. That's the key rule here, is that every tag only has one function. Have you ever done this? You've got a goal. Maybe it's like after someone purchases, you achieve that goal with a tag, and you're like, okay, cool, that starts the fulfillment process. And then like, oh, since people buy, they get that tag, I'll use that tag to know how many people bought, right? Maybe they're buying a membership. So I can just look at that tag and know, oh, 100 people bought. Well, what if one cancels and we don't remove that tag? Well, I know how many people bought, but I don't know how many members I currently have. So then we remove that tag. So now I know how many members I currently have, but I don't know how many just bought over time, right? And then what if they come back and they buy again, but I never remove the tag? Then the goal won't get achieved. They won't go into the welcome sequence again, right? So if you cross functions, it gets all screwed up. And inside of Infusionsoft, there's no rules that tell you not to do that, and so we all mess it up. So you got to have these structures in place. Every tag category only has one function. Trigger tags achieve goals. That's it. They can start sequences, they can stop sequences, doesn't matter. They just achieve goals, all right? Status tags. Status tags tell you where a person's at in a process. Think of a sales process. They might be a new lead, and then I'm contacting them, and now I'm negotiating with them, and now I've sent them the contract, and now I've closed the deal. That's a status. Now, these are semi-temporary, right? Their status changes as they go through a process. So status tags tell us where they're at, okay, where. Activity tells us what they've done, all right? And these tags are permanent. They stay on the record forever. I want a permanent historical record of everything this person's done. They fill out this form, they bought this product, they click this link, whatever, right? All that kind of stuff. Those are activity tags. Profile tags tell us who they are. Not what they've done, not where they've been, who they are. Okay, think demographics, psychographics. Okay, so you might have age brackets. This person's in the 20 to 30-year-old range. This person lives in suburbia. This person is interested in learning about Infusionsoft. So interests, psychographics, right? That all goes into their profile, right? Reporting, these are only for reporting. Remember, if we cross functions, we're going to get messed up. Our reports will be wrong, and other stuff will break. So reporting tags only for reporting purposes. All right, next is temp. So you've all done this, I hope. Maybe you haven't, but maybe I'm the only one. You go into one of the searches of the reports. You're trying to find some data, right? And the criteria you're trying to search on may not be in that particular search, right? You're like, oh, I get so close. I got this tag, and I got this thing, and I got whatever, but I need one more criteria. So then you have to tag them, so that then you can use that tag in another different search that has the criteria that you need, so you can get to the data you need, right? I see lots of heads nodding. We've all done that, right? And so we just give them a temporary tag. We don't need it for any other purpose, just for those 5 minutes while we're trying to drill in on that data, right? So temporary tags, don't mess up the rest of your categories with temp tags. Just put them over there. Once a month or so, you just go and delete those. They don't matter. They mattered for 5 minutes. Okay, so this morning I woke up, I logged into my Infusionsoft account. None of you have ever been in my Infusionsoft account. I picked a random person, Hank T. I didn't put his name here just in case he is in the room, but this is a real person, Hank T. And I've got some tags on his record. I want you to shout out, who is this person? Who? Shout it out. He's an Infusionsoft customer, right? You know that because that's his profile tag. All right, what has Hank done? He got a welcome email. He got the first welcome email in the indoctrination campaign. What else? He requested the lead magnet called 18 Keys, okay? And what's his status? Where is he at in our process? Exactly. He's already been registered as a member, so we give everyone a free membership level in our membership site, so that automatically happens. We give that tag partly because if they go through other stuff, we don't want to go through the whole HTTP post process again, so we route them out so they just skip that because they have that tag. And then he's also currently in the indoctrination campaign. So I taught you in 5 minutes our tagging structure, and you were able to look at one of my random contacts and know exactly what's going on with that person. Pretty amazing, right? 10 minutes a day. It is possible. Now, that may seem really simple, and it is, but it's just the start, right? There's so many things that we can teach you, just these little tiny tricks that are going to allow you to take total control and command over Infusionsoft. It's just the tip of the iceberg. I see some of you take pictures. I'll get you the slides, no worries, okay? All right, so have you ever done this? What the heck is going on in my campaigns? I need to know the data, and I can't see the reports that I need. We've all done it, right? We struggle with that. So here's what it should look like when you log into Infusionsoft. Remember Aaliyah with the ice cream, and it's a summer day, and it's just amazing? I'll show you what that actually looks like in Infusionsoft. You log in, and your dashboard looks like this. So this is one of our real customers, right? This customer knows that there's over 17,000 Blueprint members. So that's an annual membership. They're all paying members, okay? He also knows that there's 110,000 people on his email list, okay? He knows that this week, 127 new people signed up, 169 last week, 159 the week before, and that could go on and on if we want to keep going weeks and weeks back. But that's accurate data he knows, and he can look at the trends and say, wait a minute, so we had 159, we had 169, this week's a little slow. What's going on? Right, and potentially make some adjustments. Maybe watch that for a few weeks, see is that a continuing trend, or was it just a blip, okay? And then below those, you can see how many of those were new members, right? Returning Blueprint sale. You see there's 1, 6, and 13. Down below, he's got active members that have hard bounced, active members that have opted out. He's got his support team calling those people, hey, you realize you paid for this, right? The content you paid for, you can't get because you opted out, okay? So that's really important. You don't want people paying for your service and not getting the value. And if you don't tell them that what they did is making them lose the value, then you've got a problem, right? So they're on top of that. Here's another customer. This one knows. This is what I call the executive dashboard. We build this for our clients. I love to build this because all of a sudden people go, ooh, I like Infusionsoft now. The business owner gets in there and he's like, I love this. I can see what's going on in my business. Whoops, I don't have little squares on this. We'll go top to bottom. So I know how many leads we've got month to date, how many actually turn into sales opportunities, how much in payments, okay? Anyone notice the difference between orders and payments in Infusionsoft? Orders don't tell you how much is actually in your bank account. Payments does, but you have to know how to do the search just right, or else it's not going to rectify with your bank account numbers. It's going to look a little different. So that number is an accurate number. $126,739.19 is exactly what should be in the bank account, and it will match up when you do that search correctly. All right, they also know their cash forecast. That's money that will automatically bill in Infusionsoft. So if you sell payment plans or subscription plans, it's scheduled to bill this month. So this business has, 39,000 or so, scheduled to bill between now and the end of this month. So they can look into the future a little bit and plan, right? Remember, we're talking about struggling over payroll and things like that. You really need to be able to forecast. You've got to look into the future. One of the things I learned at Infusionsoft is that as a leader of people, one of your primary jobs is to be able to see into the future, project and forecast, right? So you can lead the team confidently. So they know 39,000 is going to come in auto bills, right? Sales forecast, that's what the sales team is projecting. Hey, here's what we're going to close this month. And then the receivables, 57,000 in receivables. So they can sit down and look at that. How much of this do you think we're going to collect this month? Now we have a really good idea of the leads and sales funnel, what's going to auto bill, what we could potentially collect in receivables, and then what we think we can close in new business. I've got a great picture of what the revenue of this month is going to look like. And you can project that out another month or two if you'd like. Okay? Then we've got affiliate payouts owed, and then total payments collected over the year. Who would like that kind of dashboard? All of you, right? Be able to see your business like that. And then we can get as granular as you want into every single campaign as well. But that's kind of an executive dashboard that we like to set up for our clients. So you log into Infusionsoft and you go, yes, this is amazing. It's like my birthday, right? It feels great when you log into Infusionsoft and you know what's going on and things are working right and the numbers are coming in and you're hitting your goals, and that's what we're going to hold your hand and help you do. So I mentioned at the beginning that I was going to share these things with you, and then at the end I would show you how to take what you learned today one step further to master Infusionsoft, your business, and your life. So I'd like to introduce to you the Infusionsoft Success Lab. The Infusionsoft Success Lab is some online courses where we take you through, we hold your hand step by step through all of these things to teach you the organizational structure as well as the strategy, so you can put all of this stuff together in your Infusionsoft account and absolutely crush it the way you hope to do when you first signed up for Infusionsoft. So let me run through the basic courses with you. First is marketing strategy. So there we go. I'm back. Hello. All right. So marketing strategy mastery. We're going to take you through more of those types of exercises, but then we dive a little deeper. And we show you campaign strategy. And how do you get someone from point A to point B? And how do you get someone to recognize that they're the right fit? Not that you're pushing it down their throat, but they recognize and they raise their hand and they say, yes, that's what I need. That's all about the strategy and the messaging. I'm going to walk you through lessons of exactly how to do that. Infusionsoft Campaign Builder Mastery. The Campaign Builder is awesome, like we talked about. That's where all the freedom is, but we've got to have those rules and the structures. We're going to teach you exactly how to really own the Campaign Builder and master it in a powerful way. Infusionsoft E-commerce Mastery. Some of you use e-commerce. I always tell people, look, don't use a third-party shopping cart or order form if you don't have to, because the beauty comes from the automation that happens if you can use Infusionsoft natively. It's amazing. But a lot of people have either heard things, oh, Infusionsoft order forms suck, or the shopping cart's really terrible. There are some simple things we can do to clean all that up and make it amazing for you, okay? All right, Infusionsoft Sales Pipeline Mastery. So if you sell with a sales team or you sell over the phone, we're going to teach you how to put together and manage a sales pipeline in a really, really powerful way, okay? Infusionsoft Referral Partner Mastery. If you want to manage affiliates, set up referral partners, and drive business that way, there's some great things you can do, and it's really easy to set up those powerful programs if you just know the right steps and the rules if you follow the way, all right? And then Infusionsoft Administration Mastery. This is all about the reports and the dashboards and the searches and managing the data and making sure everything stays clean. Again, some very simple structures, step-by-step processes that we can walk you through to make sure that you're successful with this. We want success. We're all about results at Box Out Marketing, all right? And then Infusionsoft Workflow Automation Mastery. This is one of the forgotten areas of Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft can automate so much of the daily work that you guys do, and we will teach you exactly how to approach that and set up structures so that you and your team can be 2, 3, 4 times more efficient than what you're being now when you do your daily work, all right? So the courses, once you get into each course, this is the format. They're all structured the same. The first module is the executive overview. So if you're the business owner and you're like, hey, I don't want to get into all the details of the training, that's fine. You need to know what's possible, though, so you can dream big and direct your team to go do it. So the executive overview is going to take you through a couple of quick 10-minute lessons to help you just get your head around what's going on there, and then you can tell your team, look, this is what I want, go do it, right? And then the next module is the training. So that's where we take you through these 10-minute lessons. They're super, super simple, and they walk you through literally every feature, every setting in Infusionsoft. Now, that may sound boring, and it can be, and so that's why we have these step-by-step launch guides, which is module number 3. The step-by-step launch guides is where we put it all together in actual practice. And so we show you, all right, you want to build a webinar campaign? Open up your campaign builder. Now follow me. Drag out this. Now drag out this. Now connect it here. It's literally step by step. You follow the video. At the end, you have a built campaign that you can feel confident is going to work. And you learn it all in the process. So some of you might say, hey, I don't want to read the executive overview. I don't want the training. I just want to go build it. Great. You can jump ahead. You can go at your own pace, do exactly what you need to do now. And then we can go even one step bigger to the scenarios. So you might be a lawyer and you're looking at it and say, well, I don't know how I'd use a webinar in my business. It's a little bit different. Yeah, it is a little bit different. So that's why we have these real-life business scenarios where we put all of the pieces together in a few different business models so you can see how it all works for different types of businesses. Okay, so all of our courses are structured that way. When you get into the actual 10-minute lessons, they look like this. So any feature, right? Let's talk about web forms. What is a web form? Why would I use it? So that's one of the missing things in the Infusionsoft Help Center. Infusionsoft Help Center is great if you know what you're looking for. But sometimes you don't know what you're looking for and you don't know even why you would use it. So we tell you why you would use it, how do I set it up, the way, right? So we're going to tell you the right way to utilize that feature. And then what are the reasons it may not be working? So you followed everything we taught you and for some reason it's just not working the way you thought. Well, we've already answered all those questions because we've heard them all a million times. But if we haven't for some reason, you can submit your own question there and get a response from me or my team to make sure that you're able to move forward, all right? And then we have tools and suggestions to help you take that even a step further. Optionally, if you want yourself or your team to get certified so you know their stuff, there's a certification exam at the end of each of the courses. Now, you don't have to pass course number 1 exam to get on to course number 2. You can go at your own pace, access anything you'd like at any time. But as a business owner, you might say, hey, I want my VA to know this stuff inside and out. I want my marketing manager to know this stuff inside and out. I need to know that they actually are certified and they've been through it and they've passed the test. Well, that's what that's for. So you can put in your team and track their progress and make sure that they're actually learning the stuff and they're able to implement the big dreams you come up with, all right? So the Infusionsoft Success Lab Pro is normally $347 a month. Since you're at Icon, and I know you're here to take action, I know you're here to go home and implement, that's the type of people we want in the Success Lab. We want people who are going to actually get in there and make it happen. We're going to extend a great invitation to you here at Icon. It's only $197 a month, okay? And this comes with everything that I've talked to you about today. If you get the order form that you're being passed out right now, just go to that box on the right and scratch off $347 and write in $197 per month, okay? That's all that it's going to take right now, $197 a month, all right? So there's some fast action bonuses we put together for you guys. For those of you that are ready to act right now, we're going to give you 2 extra users, okay? So you get 3 total. So if you're the business owner and you're signing up and you got a marketing manager and a VA and you want them to get in there and learn all this stuff too, 2 extra users for you if you sign up in this room only, all right? We're also going to give you the free upgrade to the Pro. You can look at the pricing there. Totally free upgrade to the Pro level of the Infusionsoft Success Lab. We're also going to take it a step further and give you monthly campaign building live workshops. So some of you are thinking, wow, I don't have the time to get in there and do this, or I need a little extra hand-holding. What if I have questions, whatnot? These monthly campaign building workshops, we're going to get on a webinar with you, and we're going to walk you through step-by-step various different types of funnels. We're actually doing 2 of them every month, but they're for different business models. So at least one of them will always apply to your business, okay? Whether you're more e-commerce focused or you're more kind of a sales team type business, at least one of those, maybe both of them, will apply to you every single month. They'll always be recorded, so if you miss it for some reason, you can get in there, or if you can't make it, have your VA get in there and get on that call. And then on the off weeks, we have a support call for that particular campaign building workshop. So we build it first, then a week later, we get back on and say, okay, Have you launched it? Did you run into some problems? Did you launch it and something didn't go right and we help you? It's a group setting, but we'll answer one-off questions and help you. If we have to, we'll just make you the presenter, look at your campaign, fix it right then and there, okay? We want to make sure that you guys are actually getting results, that you're making it happen. So that's what the campaign building workshops are going to be all about in the Infusionsoft Success Lab. We also have a private Facebook group, so you may not want to wait until the next workshop where you can get some hands-on help. Private Facebook group where you can get in and ask questions. We already have a vibrant group of almost 400 members. So we've been building this group over time of all of our clients. So almost 400 members. Our Double Your Sales Club, if you've heard of that, we're basically rolling into the Infusionsoft Success Lab. Great group of people in there, entrepreneurs just like you, trying to make it happen. And they're in there just collaborating and helping each other and supporting each other all the time. My team and I are always in there as well, supporting you guys. So whatever question you have, support that you need, we're there to help you. All right, so fast action bonus for the first 30 people, I also want to offer a 1-hour private marketing consultation. Now that may happen over the next few weeks or months. We're going to have to schedule that out. So if that's for you and you're ready, go ahead and head to the back of the room where my team's at. I want to make sure that you guys get those for the first 30, okay? So you may have questions in your mind at this point. I'm going to take all those questions away, okay? I don't want you guys to worry about this at all. I'm going to take all of the burden on myself. I'm so confident that the Success Lab will help 98% of you in this room that I'm going to offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. You get in there, and you start consuming this stuff, and we walk you through it, and we hold your hand through it, and you decide it's not for you, within 60 days, just let us know. We'll refund all your money, and you're on your way. But I know that if you engage and you do this, you're going to master Infusionsoft. I promise you, you've got 10 minutes a day that you can do this, okay? Or an hour a week, however you want to structure your time. It is absolutely possible. I just want to let you know, too, that this is my passion. I talked about doing private consulting, and it was an amazing life, and my wife is probably still looking at me like, can you please just go back to that? I worked like 4 hours a day and had a couple of clients, and it was amazing. I left all that, and I'm going through this hard work because I want you to succeed. Okay, this is all about helping you get results with not just Infusionsoft, but your business. And so you can live your life like that. Okay, so I'm going to walk to the back of the room. If you're with me, follow me back there. I'll answer questions back there with my team, and we'll take care of all of you who are ready to go.